All right, hello and welcome to the Benzo Rehab Dungeon episode 58. I am your host, Michael Deebs. It is September 18th, 2021. This would normally be recorded on the 17th, but something came up. I am your host, Michael Deebs. Joining me, as always, the affable Danko Suvin from the Instagram handle at DankDeLuz.
Aloha.
As they say. Also joining me, as always, John, the producer from the Instagram handle at Discopathic. If I can use my words today, that'd be great. Gentlemen, how are you doing today? John, go ahead and go first.
I could be better.
Okay, well.
I keep getting rescheduled all the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Have things planned for Friday evening and yeah. Now I have to wake up early.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4:30 p.m.
Yeah. It is. Very early.
All right. Well, I just wanted to make sure the listener knows what you consider early.
I should be in home right now.
Danko, how are you doing?
In the words of everyone's favorite 7-Eleven attendant, I wasn't even supposed to come into work today.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, multiple complaints for something I could not change, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is
doesn't management always say that though?
Yeah, that's true.
I can assure you that management wasn't shoveling actual human shit at 5:30 a.m. this morning. So
it could depend. Could depend.
Could depends.
Yeah, it's a diaper joke.
Yeah, all right.
It's a joke about diapers.
Right. Poop. Cool.
How are you, Mike?
I'm tired. The reason that we had to reschedule is I got called into work last night to contain the human shit problem, and then this morning I had to wake up very early to fix the human shit problem. So
yeah. Well, you know what? I had a lot of difficulty sleeping last night because I was gonna relax, right? I was gonna chill. I was like, okay, we're not doing the pod.
But the anxiety of having to do it the next day was so immense because I asked so much of you.
But what I did is I ended up laying down, took a little edibles. It was great. It was very good. I was listening to some music with my headphones. Everything was perfect. And after a couple hours, I'm just like, all right, it's time for bed. This has been a really good night. I got the hiccups.
Oh.
And usually, I mean, the hiccups, unless you're Bolsonaro, aren't that big of a deal.
Normally they wash right out.
Right. And I was just like, all right, I'm gonna sleep. It's fine. It's a hiccup. But every time I started to fall asleep, it was like falling asleep in class when you like jerk your head up in the middle of it. Every time I started to pass out, a hiccup would come and wake me up. And that happened for hours. I've never been so tormented by a hiccup in my life.
That's horrible, man.
Yeah. So I had the hiccups.
Okay.
You may have been dealing with human shit, but I was high with the hiccups.
Okay? Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we all have our crosses to bear.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Let's go ahead and get on to the first link.
Should we have links today?
We have many links. We have a whole plethora of links, in fact.
A plethora.
So this is great. This is our friend Nance. I forget what podcast I was listening to the other day, but somebody was talking and then they said, and Nancy just won't, and then they're like, oh, I shouldn't say Nancy, Speaker Pelosi, and I'm like, dude, just No, disrespect her, please. Always disrespect
like,
her.
It's not like anyone's stopping anyone from calling you Obama, like, or not you, but
right. No, people call me Obama all the time.
That is true. That is true.
It's because of my diction and my my being president of the United States.
Yeah, which is why they don't call you President Obama. They just call you Obama.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and watch this clip because this is great. This is Nancy Pelosi relating what happened on January 6th to 9/11. And let's not overplay what happened on 9/11 also, but I think there's a magnitude of difference between like 3,000 people dying, and like a couple of people storming a building, and one got shot in the face because they were really dumb.
Right. Can I just point out one thing, because we already see it on the screen?
Yes.
It's U.S. Capitol attack like 9/11, but an assault from within.
Right.
They're both inside jobs.
Of course.
So, I mean, kind of distinction without a difference, right?
But you're touching on a note that's interesting to me. Without us even getting into the clip, is that she says it's an assault from within. It's like 9/11, but from within. Essentially foreignizing our own citizens. And I'm a no borders should exist kind of person, but isn't that like a weird thing to say? Like we basically, she's, whatever you want to say about January 6th. I think it's different in scope, different in magnitude, different in intent. And I don't know. It seems to be laying some groundwork because they're doing the commission and it's being done in the 9/11 commission style. It seems to be laying the groundwork for making enemies out of citizens.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and play this.
It was a horrible, horrible, horrible day for our democracy. There's no question about that. Strength of our democracy is how we would deal with it. But as I close, I just go back to where we were last weekend. Many of us gathered in New York for the 9/11. Now that was an assault from outside. What happened on January 6th, an assault from within. Horrible in both cases. It was an insurrection incited by the President of the United States. No one could have ever expected that or been prepared for something like that.
What?
But it had its roots in some kind of white supremacy, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia. That's how the FBI director describes some of what is out there when he has said the U.S. is more at risk from domestic terrorism than from global terrorism.
That's true.
That. And let me just say in that regard, that president, he did not create those problems I mentioned, but he galvanized them. And this is what you have to be aware of every place. He galvanized them, and the social media enabled that to happen. 2 million QAnon finding like-minded thinking people. So we have to look at how social media, a blessing, but a double-edged sword. Well, I would say to my Republican friends, and I do have some.
It sure would suck if we had a president that was able to galvanize anything, or like a speaker that was able to galvanize anything.
And social media's and the ability to communicate is great, but it's dangerous for people to talk to each other.
I mean, social media is like extremely toxic and fucked up.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I mean, like they're going to justify putting controls and monitoring people's communications warrantlessly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm actually
which they already
looking
do,
forward to the I'm
make it
looking
more
forward to
legit.
the domestic drone strikes.
Personally. Actually, when are do you think it's going to do you think that the cops are going to start having flashbang fucking missiles or the little helicopters dropping flashbangs on people?
Oh yeah,
probably. Yeah.
You got all this military gear coming back, and every time you get military gear coming back from a war zone, it ends up in the hands of the police. And now we've implemented and designed this whole drone strike program, and you've got all these drones coming back from Afghanistan. A fair amount are going to remain over in that region to some degree, without a doubt. But yeah, I mean, I think it's not without yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
We're going to see drones
And
flying
then-
around. That's
and
going
then-
to be the new hell we
Well,
live in.
we already have drones, like in East County somewhere. Is it El Cajon or
Oh yeah,
what?
yeah. No,
In Southern
we already
California,
have
there's
drones, but we're going to see
drones
them,
flying
I
around.
think, yeah.
But it also, it's not like this would be the first time that cops have dropped bombs on a neighborhood. I mean,
No.
he had that like in Move. So yeah, I mean, all of this it's just stuff that's just going to get worse.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, very cool.
So the next link, because this is like her new line, I guess. I don't. If you wanna
Variant
go-
of 9/11.
No. Go ahead and go to the next link, John.
Next slide.
Oh, well, this is a weird link.
Yeah.
It must have changed since the other night. Anyways, Nancy Pelosi once again telling people that the Republican Party needs to be saved and not to let it be hijacked. This is different than the clip that we played last episode. In fact, since our last episode, she's like publicly said this like 2 or 3 separate times. So Nancy Pelosi seems to be running on a platform of Republicans good, bring back your party. As we're starting to lead into like the midterms and stuff like that, and the Democratic Party has done nothing substantive to with their party majority or their Senate majority, House majority, having the executive branch, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just interesting to see the continuation of, and again, I'm not a Democratic Party person, and I don't think the Democratic Party has our best interests in mind, but, they ran on, if you elect us, we're going to get, X and Z and Y done, and here they are. The speaker, the leader of the Democratic Party, essentially, running around talking about how Republicans need to come back.
Well, they're edging. They're doing something. They're doing a lot of edging.
Yeah. I mean, we'll go ahead and click the next link. That one's dead. So there was a bill to reduce drug pricing in America, make it cheaper for people to get the medications they need. And you'll never guess what party, what group of people in what party killed that bill. It was
was it the Democrats?
It was the Democrats. It was centrist Democrats. I want to zoom in a little bit. It's zoomed out pretty far. But yeah, centrist Democrats scramble the House drug pricing effort. The moderates' stand could complicate Democrats' push to reform a slew of federal health programs as part of their $3.5 trillion bill. This was kind of linked in with the infrastructure bill, and you would think, hey, everybody wants the infrastructure bill to pass, so of course. And then the other thing is, there is literally no American that wants to pay more for their medication. Like, this is something that they talk about bipartisanship all the time. There is nobody that wants to pay more for their fucking medicine, at all. That, like, maybe there's a couple of like screw loose in their brain folks out there who, yeah, I like it when I pay $500 for my insulin or whatever, but I don't think that really exists.
I'm pretty sure that this is popular with constituents on both sides of the political spectrum.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is as much as something can be bipartisan. Republican and Democrat voters both unanimously agree on reducing the price of drugs in America.
Yeah. I mean, so much of it boils down though just to the fact that I mean, of course, there's a lot of this situation where, oh man, they're in the pocket of these pharmaceutical companies and whatever. But more of it has to do with the fact that when you have something like pharmaceutical manufacturers in your state or anything like that, whatever you're going to get the most kind of revenue off of just for the state, and also when it comes to producing jobs, people are going to vote just for like the Democrats that are, running the state, so long as like the company that they're working for is doing well, which is dreadful, but ultimately that ends up being the case where people end up voting with their wallets, not in the sense that like where they're spending money, but they end up, they judge most of what's happening on, whether or not the economy is doing well, whether or not they have a job. And so I mean, that's the shitty part about this, is that that's probably the reasoning here, is that we have some manufacturers here in our state. We want to make sure that we keep their profits up as high as possible. That also, immediately ends up correlating to how the stock market's doing. It's not about whether or not the voters want it. It's whether or not the voters are going to vote against their own self-interest later, just because the fact that some company that means more than they do is doing better.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, it's all about, the profit motive, obviously, and how financialized everything, including healthcare, is. And then it also doesn't help that I think it's Manchin's daughter has like really close pharmaceutical ties.
Yeah.
So hey, what are you gonna do, right? So yeah, we've got a couple of Democrats here who basically are trying to kill the drug pricing.
Both named after really pretentious places, even if it's not spelled right. Mansion and Cinema.
Oh,
I mean, that's a sign. It's a sign.
This is actually in the House. It's Scott Peters, who's from California, Kathleen Rice from New York, Kurt Schrader from Oregon. But they joined Republicans. That's great. And again, not a Democrat stand, but the entire mantra of the 2020 election was vote blue no matter who, because we'll get it done and it'll be good, and all the bad things that are happening to you in your personal life are gonna stop happening. Clearly not the case. Let's go ahead and go to the next link. This is gonna be the dry portion of it. We'll get into fun stuff later. So yeah, there's still a border crisis that didn't go.
It's a Hydra. That's cool.
It really is, actually. Where they close down one camp and they scuttle all the people in it, and then it just pops up in a different place. I believe Texas actually declared a state of emergency earlier today. I don't know. I haven't been able to look at the news because I was what's the word, they decompressing from picking up shit all day. But yeah, no, I think there was a state of emergency declared because there's like
21 hours ago.
Oh, 21 hours. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, so thousands of people, tens of thousands, I believe, at the Texas and Mexican border. Many of them from Haiti, living under a bridge, trying to seek asylum from all of the awful things happening in Haiti. Also, people trying to seek asylum from all the awful things happening in South America, both of which are caused largely by the U.S. So when Joe Biden was running for president, he promised to close a squalid border tent camp in Mexico where thousands of migrants have been left to await the outcome of their immigration cases by the Trump administration. What Biden did is he extended a stay on asylum seekers under the pretense of trying to prevent the spread of COVID. So these people have still been in this camp, and then they broke up the camp, and now the camp's just popping up different areas. Obviously, worse conditions. One of the locations, I believe it's this camp in this article, is in like heavy gang territory, Mexican gang cartel territory.
Yeah.
So, you know, these people are at threat of gang violence, and then on the other side of the fence, they're at threat of border patrol violence. Rather than doing anything humane, we're just keeping them in this constant state of limbo and death and misery.
It's always incredible how, you know, the center and the right are always talking about voting with your feet, and how, like, if you don't like it in a certain state, you should go to another one. And that apparently only applies to state borders. Like,
oh yeah,
that can't possibly apply anywhere else. Well, unless no, it does apply to leaving the U.S. Yeah. If you don't like it, get out. Yeah.
But don't go anywhere, because everybody should be isolationists.
Yes.
or not, or whatever. I don't know. It's
just like, entirely arbitrary boundaries.
Yeah. Don't come here. Go somewhere.
I gotta say,
unless you're from California.
They might be a little bit dishonest in how they approach this rhetoric. I don't know. That might be the issue here. Let's go ahead and go to the next link. Oh yeah, that's just more about the border crisis.
Haiti does have an optics problem. You know, you got to change the name of the country to something like Lovey. You know,
Jesus. That's the real problem with Haiti.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You got all these Haities out here and no Loveys.
I might want to have a couple more Haitian neighbors if they were Lumshin instead.
Lumshin.
I think that's what you would. I'm sorry. Mansion? Is that no?
That is
Yep.
Joe Manchin there. He's got a very punchable face, and that's not a threat.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah. No.
No.
I thought what?
Did
you think I was talking about you, or?
I thought you said you do. I was like, okay.
No, I do have a punchable face. I would say. I want to punch myself in the face often. Every time I look in the mirror, I do that like Joker, like, and then I break the mirror with my fist, and then
you just have like a closet full of mirrors.
He does.
Yeah.
Well, you just keep replacing them.
I've seen it.
I'm very vain, but also dark and mysterious.
He doesn't sweep either, so like the ground, the carpet's just covered in glass.
If you come over,
I guess that. Yeah. It does look like the floor is covered in glass over there.
Yeah, no, this is my actual apartment, guys.
Yeah.
Your actual 150,000 square foot dungeon apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the border of I don't know, Mexico and California.
Hell yeah.
If you hear screams in the background, it's not me.
Ooh. I don't know what that implies.
Biden met moderate U.S. Senate Democrats. I don't remember why I put this link in here. Manchin and Sinema are doing their fucking shit again. They're trying to tank the infrastructure bill because the reality is that the Democrats don't actually want to pass the infrastructure bill, and Manchin and Sinema are just the scapegoats because they want to get their names out there all the fucking time. They want to be popular, and it's actually pretty likely that the infrastructure bill is going to die, which is going to be fun because it was already inadequate, and it's going to be even less adequate when it doesn't pass at all, or it passes at such a extremely reduced dollar amount that it functionally can do nothing, which is par for the course for how government operates, especially lately in personal experience, is underfunded projects that already like don't meet the need, and then like lead pipes, for example. That was like during the State of the Union address, or Biden's 100-day address or whatever. Yeah, I think it was just a 100-day address.
Yeah.
You know, one of his big, like, everybody stood up and applauded him, and all sorts of people were like, "Oh, Joe Biden's our president," because he said, "Oh, we're gonna replace all the lead pipes, Jack." And the current bill is only like 80% of lead pipes now, so we're still gonna have 20% lead pipes.
You know,
and go ahead, John.
Sorry. I think you know you're just not patient, you know, because like they're being productive. You know,
lead like pipes. I will remind everyone, were banned from use in the early '80s, I believe. I think 40 years of patience is. I don't know. Lead pipes are bad.
Yeah, no, they're just gonna say that they're working on it, you know, until fucking, you know, everybody just forgets about it.
Well, yeah, no, that's something I do at my job all the time. Is I say, "Oh, I'm working on it," and really, what the reality is I don't have funding for a project, but I have to act like I'm working on it because people want me to work on it. And this is something I do internally to the city. I'm not talking about with the public. I'm usually honest with people. Public. I just mean in the interest of keeping my own job. When my manager, who I hope doesn't listen to this, asks me what I'm doing, I lie to them, and yeah. Government's fun, guys. I recommend it. Nothing will make you have less faith in the government than working for the government.
I work for a startup, and
you believe in startups now?
No. No, I do not. But you know, just to be clear though, like, removing 80% of lead pipes would be good.
Yes, it's better than it is not.
Yeah.
Good, I guess.
I mean, I probably wouldn't. Well, we shouldn't all collectively give Joe Biden head for that, but you know, it is something that should happen, and other people haven't been doing. So sure. I mean, I think that is, you know, he deserves a golf clap.
You think he'd be working harder to get it passed, you know?
Yeah, you would think that.
Yeah, I mean the fact that he is having trouble whipping up 2 recalcitrant votes in the Senate.
Yeah.
And trouble is not the right term to use here, because he's not trying either. Is the real problem. Right. He's not using the bully pulpit to say, "Hey Manchin, hey Cinema, you dumb fucks. I'll let you fall in line."
I think that is really where the real problem is here, right? So
without a doubt. Let's move from bad stuff to more bad stuff.
Hell yeah,
more bad.
Now, this is something we already knew, and I think we already talked about this briefly, but it's interesting to see the Pentagon admitting it.
That's a lot better of a headline than the one that I saw before.
No, I specifically chose this headline because I was tired of seeing all the other ones that, like, Pentagon acknowledges that it's the wrong person, or
Pentagon acknowledges August 29th drone strike in Afghanistan was a tragic mistake that killed 10 civilians.
Yeah. So who's going
Imagine using that many words to, like, avoid.
Right. Yeah. Who's going to jail for murder over this one? Because
the robot.
Yeah, right. I feel like that's something that should happen, right? Like, this is inexcusable in my eyes. You know, as we're already, like, dealing with this absolute fuck fest of a withdrawal, and again, glad that we are withdrawing or have withdrawn, but there were obviously multiple better ways to do it. It seems almost intentional, whether it's the Biden administration not wanting to take, like, the political hit of inviting a bunch of Afghans to our country. You know, the political hit from the right would be, "Oh, you're inviting all these terrorists over," or whatever. whatever the case may be, there was a concerted effort to not actually let Afghans into America.
Yeah.
And I say concerted effort because it does seem intentional the more you look into it. And lots of people were left behind.
Didn't they also like force a few planes to not land as well? This is a vague memory of mine. I'm gonna look it back up. But
yeah, I would
anyway.
just keep that as a vague memory.
Yeah.
For the purposes of like being honest in this podcast.
Yeah. No.
Which
Exactly.
we care about. We care about honesty here.
We're the most honest.
Most honest podcast this side of the Mississippi.
We're fair and balanced.
That's true. Yes, we're actually going to have a fair and balanced moment later today. I hope. But yeah, so as we're slipping all over our fucking piss and shit on our way out of Afghanistan, we decide that we're gonna do a show of force as a retaliation to the bombing that happened at the Kabul airport, which, again, was an ISIS-led attack. ISIS and the Taliban are not the same entity, and they're actually opposed to each other because ISIS would be happy seeing Afghanistan further embedded in turmoil. And the Taliban, not great people, but they do want some measure of stability. They want some measure of control there.
Is the Taliban an expansionist?
No, I
don't believe so.
Yeah.
Other than I think whatever culture or whatever that the Taliban is, religious culture package that it is, I think spans into Pakistan, but I don't know if they're actually like ISIS.
Well, see, that's part of the problem of like how we consider Afghanistan a country, because much of Pakistan used to be Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And
it's like how we map out like Iraq. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Like how
it's just lines that like for the British put on the ground for no reason.
Yeah, and that's essentially what it is. And so a lot of these groups between, Pakistan and Afghanistan will just kind of move freely across the border because they're part of like the same ethnic group, and they don't consider like that border to be the same thing we consider it, where, we would post guards up on our border or whatever and like shoot anyone that tries to cross. Pakistan and Afghanistan have a more flexible sort of environment there.
Right. What I was recalling, and apparently Saki, of course, ended up defending this, but we're not allowing charter flights from Afghanistan to land at U.S. bases. We've also blocked airspace there just in general, and a mix of Afghan, as in Taliban, and American forces are refusing to let planes leave. So a mix of all the things.
Yeah,
so can't land, can't leave, can't fly over.
Intentionally keeping people from leaving. So an absolute shit show of a withdrawal. And then, our response to the Kabul airport bombing is to, have a little show of force using our drone strike program. And as is usually the case, under Obama, it was like a 90% unintended target rate. This is a 100% mistargeting. Not only did we not, I should stop saying we, the U.S. government, not only did the U.S. government not kill an ISIS-K operative, it killed an aid worker and a bunch of children that were running out to greet the aid worker. Great work. We knew about this a long time ago. The reports from the ground were that this is exactly what happened, and of course it takes, the Pentagon a month to quietly acknowledge, not admit, on their own terms, that we killed innocent people. Somebody who was trying to, I think it was like the back of his vehicle was loaded with water and not bombs or something like that.
That sounds right.
And so they thought he was loading a bunch of like munitions into the back of the truck or some shit, and it turned out to be water, which is amazing that, we enter a war with Iraq because we see pipes on the ground, And then we
Right.
also bomb the shit out of an aid worker because we see water bottles in the back of their
Water is full of hydrogen.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And hydrogen
Yeah,
highly
and we know
explosive.
what hydrogen does.
Yeah. Those kids were hydrogen bomb technicians.
So yeah, I mean the U.S. admitting on its own terms that our drone strike program sucks.
Yeah.
If we go to the next link, good news for the region. The new Biden administration plan for the region is to basically enforce it through drone strikes.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Which, you know, we already talked about the track record of the drone strike program. Obviously, one of the first drone strikes that we have under this new kind of, not new necessarily, but the way forward, one of the first drone strikes we have kills 10 innocent people. And you know what is the it's really hard to not radicalize somebody when you keep killing them.
Yeah, like no guy even like came and accused you. A bomb just drops out of the fucking sky and kills
Right, yeah, like
Killed your daughter.
your extended family, you know, like
Yeah.
you're gonna hate America after that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
should hope you hate. I hate America after that,
yeah.
and I live here. But yeah, so the Biden administration's and the new terminology. This is the funny thing about like how the neoliberal like mindset works is you take the old same tired concept and you just like slap a new name on it. The Biden administration's over the horizon strategy in Afghanistan is drawing serious questions from lawmakers and counterterrorism experts as the U.S. withdrawal shifts calculations about threats and capabilities. So basically, over the horizon this is just the new drone strike program.
Yeah.
Because we can fly the drones over the horizon. We don't have to be
Forget
there.
about them.
Yeah. Just take out some targets and call it a day.
Yeah.
Ready?
I got a fun clip for us next.
Through a video monitor.
Let's go ahead and go to the next. We'll get into some fun stuff. We'll have some fun.
You keep
I don't believe you. Oh, I've seen this.
This is just hilarious to me.
It is funny. It is funny. Yeah.
So this Newsmax host, fuck, what's his name? Stinchfield, I know is his last name.
Yeah. Greg? No,
Greg
that's
Stinchfield?
Gutfield. No, that's Greg Gutfield. And then
He's
Stinchfield. It might be Greg as well. I mean, they're all Gregs. They're all
Whatever.
Gregs. These motherfuckers.
Stinchfield is the show on Newsmax, and he's got this veteran on
Change
there.
your name.
I know, Stinchfield.
Stinchfield.
Yeah.
That's a name a child made up as a joke. You're a Stinchfield.
So
Fuck.
I've watched some of this video,
Okay.
and
It's
it really makes me believe that these are just like bottom of the barrel like method actors that get like
oh yeah.
but then who have also like never took a what's it called
Acting class.
an ad-lib class or something like that.
Yeah, they never went to the improv seminar.
Yeah, improv. Yeah, you know, like he's a method actor. He's an actor that pretends to be a journalist, and then something happens that he didn't expect.
Yeah, he should have gone to the UCB, fam.
There's some interesting psychoanalysis that could probably be done with this clip, because you'll hear him refer early on. He'll say, "I've got Americans trapped over there," as if he's in some kind of command position or like has some kind of authoritative, I don't know, responsibility to the situation, and he's not just some guy.
He also does like a funny parapraxis later that relates to that, like a Freudian slip thing, that connects to, I think, that need to feel powerful. But yeah, we should play it. Yeah.
It didn't happen under President Trump. And I know there's a lot of people on the left that want to try to blame President Trump. He wanted out of Afghanistan real bad. He was real frustrated not being able to get out. But he didn't pull out because he knew this would happen. In fact, we all did. I called it on this program. My 12-year-old son knew about it. And so I've got Americans there that are stuck. To me, that's a hostage situation. But Joe, I appreciate you working to get them out. I really do.
Yeah.
And I wish you all
With
luck
due,
in the
with
world
due
of getting them.
respect,
Thank you for
with due respect, Grant, I mean, like, veterans, you know, being one, right, and our friends are over there.
right.
We followed this closely for multiple administrations, and we know the Trump's administration's efforts here were fairly weak. That they were trying to limit the number of people that would get out, and so there was coordination problems.
Joe, I'm gonna cut you. I'm already weak. I'm already low on time, Joe. Joe, cut him off, please. Cut him off now. Cut him off now. You're not gonna blame this on President Trump on my show. It's not happening. Now, I appreciate the work that you're doing. God bless you for being a veteran. God bless you for trying to get Americans out. But don't come on this program and take the talking point to the left and blame President Trump. That's not helping anybody. The Biden administration screwed this up from the very start. You know it. I know it. The country knows it. And you call them not hostages. I don't know how you don't call them hostages. They're stuck in Afghanistan with a country overrun with terrorists that are willing to kill them all. I'm mad about that, man. I really am. Right. I'm going to slow it down.
Slow it down.
A real hero coming up. That man's a real hero too. He served.
Man,
It's that Freudian slip.
I'm weak.
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there's a couple of Freudian slips in there. Yeah. The I'm
Yeah.
weak. I mean. And then later on when he says we got a real hero, I mean that guy's a hero too because he's a veteran.
sure.
God bless him, etc.
Also,
Yeah.
what does it mean for a whole country to be made of terrorists? Like that's not how that works. I don't think. It's such a funny like Bush era way of viewing things, where it's just like, oh, Afghanistan, you know, that's the place where everyone's a terrorist.
I forget who I was talking to, but
Iraq,
it was
too.
one of our foreign listeners, and we were talking about Afghanistan, and I forget how we arrived on the point, but I said something to the effect of, "You try telling the average American that Al Qaeda and the Taliban are like two separate entities, and people's fucking heads explode. Like, there's no, they're the same fucking group." It's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah, this is what happens when you just like, I don't know, mainline jingoism for
right
a decade or two.
Also, like, I don't think the guy he had on, I've seen this clip a couple times, but I always kind of like, I'm too busy laughing, I guess. But the guy that he had on, he didn't say that anything to go against his hostage point, did he?
No.
I think he said yes.
No,
and so he's just like, and you're saying they're not hostages, and they're fucking hostages.
Oh yeah, no,
you can't say they're not.
It's all weird projection, of course.
Yeah, it's.
And you know, he's talking to a guy that's actively working with other veteran groups to like get people out of Afghanistan.
Keep an eye on Stinchfield. He's gonna Benoit his wife, I think.
Oh jeez.
He seems like it.
Benoit balls, right?
Benoit. Hell yeah. We got some stuff about balls later, right?
We do have some stuff about
we need some balls talk.
Let's go ahead and go to the next link because I did some research into Grant Stinchfield. Grant Stinchfield,
fucking guy. Look at face.
Now I don't do the whole like stolen valor or you know, the troops need to be respected kind of shit, but
I do it when it's convenient for me.
That's interesting. So I did some research into this guy, and he's literally only just been like a news anchor his entire life. So like this weird, like, I don't know, declarative statement he makes of, you know, that guy's a hero because he served, and we got a real hero. Like he's making the call on who's a hero and not a hero in the veteran sphere, but you know, also like what's the word I'm looking for? Like bowing down to like the understood order of things, and it's just very, very interesting. Also, I think this was written by Grant Stinchfield, because the Grant Stinchfield biography, the first line reads, Grant Stinchfield is a famous American media star.
Jesus.
and this clip is literally the first time I've heard of this guy. So,
Yeah,
Grant Stinchfield.
as somebody who follows a lot of news, I don't think he's that fucking famous. So we're gonna have a fair and balanced moment next.
Oh,
Okay.
this is where the fair and balance.
There are massive technological differences.
Whoa, slow it down, man. We gotta lead into this. So I talk a lot of shit about Jordan B. Peterson because he's a dumb motherfucker.
Because we have a podcast themed around that.
And also, yes, because our name is derived from a little incident he had.
It's just a whittle move.
But this is actually Jordan Peterson mostly getting it right. And I think in order to be fair and balanced, we also have to give him credit when he says the bare minimum correct thing, but also kind of misses some points. But he's basically there. He's kind of got the idea down.
Okay.
Go ahead and play it, John.
There are massive technological differences between YouTube and network TV, despite the fact that they're both video. The first is there's no bandwidth restriction. Bandwidth is now free. You and I can talk for as long as we want, and essentially no one has to pay for it except with their attention. And then it's permanent, whereas with network TV, it was evanescent. It evaporated as soon as it was spoken. Well, now this conversation will be around for probably longer than either of us would want it to be. It's as permanent as a book. What that means too is that I don't have to assume that my audience has a limited attention span or no memory anymore, because I know that they can go out and find out things on their own. When I go to do a network TV interview, now it feels like I've transported myself back in time to 1950. And the person I'm talking to, when I'm sitting in the green room before the interview, they're a person and we have a conversation. But as soon as the cameras go on, they're no longer a person. They're a puppet of a machine. I'm not saying that critically. I'm saying because the bandwidth was so incredibly expensive, there wasn't time for experimentation. It was too expensive. And so everything the interviewer did was scripted. Well, then it was
The fuck
scripted
was Bob
according to
Ross?
essentially the dictates and influence.
Public access TV? Like, what the fuck is going? Sorry, go on, but I don't know.
Like I said, he's almost correct in some.
Well, he's only correct, like usually. He's only correct in those boring fucking way. It's like,
yeah.
Don't post anything on Facebook because it's gonna be there forever. It's like, yeah, Mom, I know. Thank you. That's
I
all.
may have been a little bit misleading and.
Were you drunk?
No. This is intentional. Intentional misleading.
Okay.
he is going to get 1 point correct, and it's coming up.
All right, we got a minute more.
Yeah.
Interests of the corporation, obviously. And so then what you end up on with network TV is a discussion with a talking head representing that monolithic organization. You're not talking to another person. And if you were, that person would get fired, because they would now be an individual instead of this immense machine that was necessary because the communication technology was so expensive. So you start with that. And furthermore, it was warped by the fact that the corporations of a certain size are protecting their existence, which of course they are, and so are the people within the corporation. Of course they are. Just like we would fight for our hierarchical position. Of course. Yes. But all that's gone now. And now we have this, and now we're figuring out what to do with it.
Russell trying to get a word in edgewise. It's funny. But yeah, I mean, the one thing he gets right is that these massive corporations are dictating speech on what are supposed to be news platforms.
Oh, sure.
Well, but
everything else he just kind of like
still like he always is though. Like he was like that it's not nefarious how corporations are trying to influence people's opinions. It's only about them making a sellable product, not trying to actually put something out that is false. That they're just like, oh, we can't experiment. We know what works, and this is what we're going to do. It's like that. It's not as directed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could you go to his main profile real quick? I want to.
Yeah.
There's a post directly to the left of that clip that I think is funny. Go down a little bit more.
Man, look at that expression.
Sorry. Go up.
Oof.
right there on the right. Suffering is a characteristic
geez.
of life. You can't take it personally.
I
love that.
That's supposed to be Eve.
I have no I guess. I don't know what's going on in this. I don't know why he reposted it. Obviously, he didn't draw it. I hope. Yeah. No,
This artist has appeared a few times on his page,
Okay.
and there are. I mean, you can see their art. I'm not going to say anything about it. But yeah, it's really bizarre.
Yeah, I got very little idea what's going on in the illustration. Eve seems to be carrying the world, much like Atlas would.
Oh, this guy does videos.
There's a snake.
I'm gonna have to check him out after this.
But I just love the suffering is a characteristic of life. You can't take it personally. So
I mean, yeah.
Anything that happens to your actual person is not supposed to be personal, bro. It's nothing personal. I don't know.
I feel like this is deeper than the other thing you had us watching. I feel like this is more like true.
No, I just wanted to point out that one thing where Jordan Peterson acknowledges that corporations dictate speech, and then he just goes on to like completely flub the point of like what's happening there.
Yeah. I mean, he's always really concerned with the way that hierarchical power ends up dictating things like speech, but then
he argues for the hierarchy.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess it's supposed to be that it needs to be a hierarchy made of competence. It needs to be competence, and how will we measure competence? No one knows. I'm just going to be the sole arbiter of that. It sucks.
Great. Let's go ahead and go to the next link, John.
Yes.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes, we're on the ball stuff now. So Nicki Minaj tweeted out something about
cousin's friend's testicles.
Her cousin's friend's testicles in Trinidad. He got the vaccine. His testicles, according to the story, swelled up really large.
Imagine complaining about that.
I know, right?
I'm trying to work on that every day.
I've been injecting silicone into my balls for 3 years now. And
silicone?
Yeah, no.
All I get
I'm just saline solution.
All I get is infections.
Yeah. I've been taking a new vaccine every day directly to balls, and all I get is huge loads.
And then I got to go to the fucking hospital, and then the doctor's like, "Oh, you again?" And you know, they call me ball boy, and
for an unrelated reason too, which is funny.
I don't want to talk about why.
Yeah, we won't.
But yeah, anyways, she tweeted something out about how her cousin's friend's balls apparently swelled up after the vaccine. He was gonna get married. The gal that was gonna marry him was like, "Oh hell no, I don't want big ball guy."
Yeah, because your balls don't work because they got big.
Your balls are too big for me.
I like to imagine that the way that all this stuff started was that they were just like having this like casual texting conversation about like, who do you know with the biggest balls? Who's the biggest ball person you know? And it's like, well, actually, I have one that'll win them all. See my friend, Trinidad. They're fucked up. They're broken. They're so big.
Yeah.
I gotta say, how many times growing up did you hear some kid tell some tall tale and he's like, "Bro, my cousin's friend's aunt's uncle."
Yeah. I still do it.
Well, yeah, sure. Like, anytime I have like,
it's always about balls too.
Yeah, anytime I have uncomfortable medical questions, I'm always like, so I got this friend who
ignored his syphilis diagnosis for 6 years,
who got
now is starting to have
from
like
trying
weird
to fuck a tree, and he's wondering if he should see a doctor if it gets red,
or if they'll go away on their own.
So anyways, the White House, because it has no credibility anymore, had to reach out to Nicki Minaj and invite her to talk about the vaccine because we're literally in a situation where the government that's supposed to, like, I don't know, protect our lives and like run the country and everything, now has to squabble with people claiming that their cousin's friend's balls testicles got big from the vaccine.
Imagine being the person stuck on that call. And she like interrupts you with shit.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
No.
all right, so this is an mRNA vaccine. What that means is I'm not going to do like a Nicki Minaj impression for a lot of reasons. But just imagine like her just squawking, interrupting you with like some weird thing that she learned from like her aunt's uncle's boyfriend.
I almost did the Cardi B trill thing, and I was like, no, that's wrong.
Yeah, I get confused too. I'm old, man.
Yeah, no,
we're old. We don't know which lady's which anymore.
I don't think I've ever heard any of Nicki Minaj's songs except for the Anaconda remake.
Yeah,
arguably the worst Nicki Minaj song.
Okay, what is the best Nicki Minaj song, John?
Well, I mean,
Bees in the Trap.
I'm not asking you because
obviously it's
you.
Bees in the Trap.
Bees in the Trap.
Go ahead. I mean, caught in my hand.
I don't know if there's a best, you know.
Yeah, they're all so good.
I don't know if the best can exist, but
Starships.
I do believe the worst can exist.
What's the worst song?
He already said.
Oh yeah, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry, I wasn't.
Anyway, it's Bees in the Trap.
Bees in the Trap. POC voices, and I apologize for that. Let's go ahead and click the next link because this is Jen Psaki having, again, because the White House has no fucking credibility anymore. This is Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, having to answer questions about whether or not Nicki Minaj was invited to the White House to talk about her cousin's friend's big balls. Go ahead and play this clip, John.
Oh. What the?
Was simply an offer to have a conversation and an early stage call. People who have big public
balls.
Opinion between Nicki Minaj and the White House about what she was invited to do. Did the White House extend an invitation to Nicki Minaj to come here?
Well, first, we don't see this as a point of tension or disagreement. I want you all to know that we engage all the time with people who have big public platforms or profiles. Some of them we talk about, some of them are here, some of them you don't even know about because they're just looking for questions to be answered. We offered a call with Nicki Minaj and one of our doctors to answer questions she had.
Wait.
What'd you say?
Invite me on your pod, Jen.
Oh, yeah.
Does she have a podcast?
Well, she has the priest briefings, press briefings.
What?
The puffin buffins.
The White House actually does have a pod.
Does it?
Yeah, it's Pod Save America.
Ah.
Got him, called out. Rap air horn. Yeah. Let's go ahead and run this clip through.
Oh, actually,
run it all the way.
Speaking of air horns, I think that the next piece of equipment the pod needs to invest in is a soundboard.
Yeah, no,
we were talking about that before. We kind of had something, and it just stopped for some reason.
Well, what I need to do is I need to get like an actual like separate standalone thing because I was just running it through like keyboard shortcuts. And then also like trying to like look up links when we were doing it back in the day and having a bunch of keyboard shortcuts that I had to like carefully maneuver around wasn't working.
No, you should have just gone with it. It would have been like our podcast would be like a YouTube poop.
It basically is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the soundboard guy, guys. I'm gonna do it. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. No, we can get something set up. We can get something set up.
Maybe we should all get soundboards.
Oh God, what a nightmare!
That would be a nightmare, and I approve of it.
Definitely wouldn't
just
cause
fart noises anytime Dorian tries to talk. Got him. Continue playing the clip.
About the safety and effectiveness of the vaccine. This is pretty standard and something we do all the time. It was a very early stage call at a staff level, staff to staff, and we weren't even at the point of discussing, or we're not even at the point of discussing, I should say at this point, the mechanisms or the format or anything along those lines. It was simply an offer to have a conversation and an early stage call.
And do you think that's going to happen?
We'll see. I don't have anything to predict for you.
Who cares?
Go ahead and stop.
Yeah.
It's about to auto.
Oh. Oh,
I
stop
don't
it.
want to listen to General Milley fucking talk. Fuck that
Yeah,
guy.
right.
Let's go ahead and go to the next link.
Oh, Jesus.
This is the disingenuous grifter Tucker Carlson capitalizing on this moment of weakness with the White House, of course.
Hell yeah.
And of course bringing on our favorite blackface correspondent, Candace Owens.
Right? It's like it's like a lady from Malibu, like a blonde girl from Malibu is like making a career out of wearing blackface.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and play this.
She's not afraid in
So I don't
America.
say more
There's
and
still
get
a few.
myself in trouble. Go ahead.
Before we get banned.
I guess it's left to a rapper from Queens, but good for her.
Right, it is good for her. You know, these are the people, by the way, that when they're running, they go around and they get them to endorse them, right? They go around to Cardi B, they go around to Nicki Minaj, and they try to get them to speak on behalf of them. And Nicki Minaj is not playing that game with them. And now people are seeing in real time what these elitists actually think of them. Look at the way they spoke down to her. She's stupid. The headlines were insane. You know, the headlines were like, she's so dumb, she thinks that it's going to make your testicles fall off. Whatever they said, complete lies, by the way. Denigrating her because at the end of the day, what they actually think, the Democrats, is that these
But she did say that though, that it's going to hurt your balls.
She said it was a possibility. To be fair.
Make them big and bad. Big bad balls.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, but she did say that.
No, she's dumb as shit, and she said dumb things for sure.
Yeah.
Go
She
on.
did say stupid things. Okay.
people are stupid. They like to come around every 4 years for the votes. But at the end of the day, they think Nicki Minaj and all rappers are very stupid. And Nicki Minaj right now is proving them otherwise. She's not afraid.
No, she's definitely not afraid. She's a savage. Actually,
I love it whenever Tucker has to play up his laugh, and he just sounds like a fucking like a fucking cartoon clown. Not even like a Joker moment clown, like just a cartoon clown. Like,
Yeah, I feel bad for he's married, right?
And I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, somebody has to have sex with him, I guess. Like, poor them.
Somebody has to.
Well, or does, you know?
Probably.
Somebody, yeah,
he does have quite a lot of money, not only from being
got power
on Fox, but he's also tied to the Swanson frozen food family.
And now imagine Tucker Carlson's leaning over you, all sweaty.
Okay.
And right before he comes, he makes that laugh. Savage.
Oh man, yeah. He's got that squinty face the whole time too.
Do you think do you think the boat shoes stay on when he fucks, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. And at least
he puts new ones on for fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing more revealing than a polo shirt.
let me slip into something comfortable, and he just comes out in like a polo shirt and boat shoes.
Oh my God, Tucker, you're wearing your special boat shoes.
They've got extra grip so he doesn't slip when he's fucking you.
You can't really slip in missionary.
You could. I don't know.
Yeah, not in boat shoes.
With your feet?
Well, I mean, it depends on how on the bed you are.
Yeah.
You're on
I
the
don't know how you people fuck. Oh, sorry, I'm 6'2".
Well, anyways. Really had to make a personal attack out of that one. If I was a lesser man, I would cut you from the show, and I haven't done that yet, have I?
Yeah, you're like 5'3"?
I'm 5'5".
5'5". Yeah.
Not that anyone's keeping track, I guess.
Big leap between 5'3" and 5'5".
Yeah, I mean that's the difference between legal midget and actual man, which I am.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, how's Candace doing? Is she really tall or really short? She seems like she's one or the other.
I don't fucking know. She's really crazy. She's really got fucking brain worms.
That's true.
Let's go ahead and play the rest of this.
I'm not on Twitter. I don't even want to get on Twitter. It was just so good. So, I mean, you can actually, and I'm not, it's not even about whether the vaccine works or it's good for you or her cousin's friend.
But I thought that's what it was about.
It is about her cousin's
It's
friend's
about
balls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
whether you have dominion over your own body, whether you're a free person, whether you're a citizen and a human being. And you got to kind of wonder if people like this standing up might awaken others that, you know, I don't have to be pushed around, actually.
Right, and that's what it really comes down to. This is about body autonomy, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. I personally believe, from the bottom of my heart, that more people would get the vaccine if they just had an honest conversation.
Right.
There's so much gaslighting going on, especially people that have already gotten the vaccine, right? People have gotten the vaccine and said, oh, you know, it made my arm itch, and they're going, you're a liar. I'll get to Nicki Minaj. You're a liar. That never happened. How dare you say that? These people are on your side, vaccine industry. You're gaslighting people that actually listen to you. Why don't you just have a meaningful conversation and say, you know what, this might be rare, maybe it did happen, but you're going to be just fine. They won't do that, and that is why people do not trust them at this.
I've heard tons of reports from people in interviews from the CDC, representatives of the government, saying, yes, you might get a fever.
Yeah.
Of course.
When I
Yeah,
went to
no.
get my shot, like
Nonsense.
I had to tell the doctor to shut up essentially because he was so eager to list off like every little thing that could go wrong.
Yeah. And I was, yeah, it's like,
Like-
I don't, yeah.
A fever and
As long as there's
and
syphilis in it,
dehydration and muscle aches and he just kept going. And then like I went in for the second time and he did it again. He's just doing it. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember you. You remember, I could tell. We said hi and then
Did you cut him off before he got to the big balls part?
I cut him off before he gave me the vaccine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I just started like licking doorknobs, and that's how I'm getting my
Well,
my antibodies
no,
now.
Yeah.
Your body has an immune system.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It's a
Deep the
special one.
doorknob and you won't catch COVID. You heard it here.
So, a point that I'd like to make on this is they're using something that's real to make a really bad, disingenuous point. And the thing that's real is that leading up to the election and up until Biden took over, there were a lot of Democrat talking heads who were very skeptical of the vaccine because it was the Trump vaccine at that point. And
Traxine.
Yeah.
this is the problem with the reactionary sort of mode of politics that a lot of people who, you know, primarily, I mean, reactionary politics are all over the place, but I mean specifically Democratic Party stands, I guess, reactionary politics. So if we go to the next link, there's a long list of with evidence, a long list of Democrats who were, you know, claiming that, oh, I don't trust the vaccine because it was made under Trump or whatever, and this is part of the problem and why the administration has very little legitimacy as far as, like, you know, like I said, it's arguing with Nicki Minaj over like whether or not her cousin's friend's balls got big. It's having to run PR against that. And
Which
part
did
of go ahead.
did any of y'all end up hearing the that like press conference from the government of Trinidad about that?
Oh yeah, no, which is hilarious.
About how frustrated they were about the wasted resources trying to track down a guy with big balls.
Right.
Didn't
Do you
make
know the
sense.
guy with big balls? But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean this is part of the part of why this reactionary mode of politics has been so devastating, and it's undermined everything that could have possibly been good about any of this, I guess. And you know, now you've got, now that Biden's in charge, you know, you have the Democratic like party adherents saying, oh, well, the FDA approved it, blah blah blah, whatever. Well, the FDA approved it when Trump was in office. They hadn't like finalized their approval yet, but they were saying, yeah, it's okay to use. And you know, you had all these Democratic talking heads saying, oh, I don't trust it because this is Trump's FDA. Well, the average person doesn't fucking care like who's president at time of the FDA's approval or whatever. It's you know what I mean, like it's we're getting this mixed message where, oh, now the FDA is good. Before it was bad because Trump was in charge. Now the FDA is good because Biden's in charge. And people, I think people are confused on, not confused. They don't have any trust. And I think that mistrust is not unfair. I think it's very fair. And part of it is because of these Democratic talking heads, doing this partisan play sort of stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go to the next link, which I believe is maybe Dorian's.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And go ahead and take it.
So it's just this insane article that came out about by Douglas Copeland, who's this dreadful Canadian artist and writer I haven't read any of his writing, to be honest. But if it's anything like his visual art, which we'll go over later, it's terrible. But he wrote this beautiful article about how Elon Musk is actually good, and how great he actually is. And we can actually kind of go through the full article because it's cut into these really convenient sections, and some of them will just pass by, but some of them are hysterical.
Yeah.
But if you just want to scroll down a bit,
already like,
oh yeah,
oof.
Gross.
The smartest person in the room, in any room, anywhere, in defense of Elon Musk, like Douglas Copeland. It's really bad. So, and the subtitle: he's the Silicon Valley Ubermensch, the maverick boss of Tesla and SpaceX, who wants us to colonize Mars and who could wipe out billions of dollars with a single tweet. So what's not to love?
Gross.
Right?
Gross.
Yeah. So go ahead and give us a downward scroll, sir. We can skip the whole intro. He talks about how he's a publicity expert. He's a marketing genius, which he's not. He's a fucking disaster that happens to be on Twitter a lot.
Let's not skip that first paragraph because that's interesting. It's interesting whenever Elon Musk's name comes up and people begin discussing his accomplishments, such as the reinvention of money.
What?
It's PayPal. They're talking about PayPal.
PayPal is the reinvention. Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
He does that throughout this whole thing. It's really amazing.
Automobiles. He didn't reinvent anything. Still four wheels.
Yeah.
Different power source than what normally happens, but
he didn't invent that either, though.
Yeah, electric vehicles have been around for a long time. There's always someone who says, "Yeah, but I hear he can be a real dick." Take that, Elon. That is not what I would say as a criticism of Elon Musk.
Yeah, supporting coups.
and also just a reminder for everyone that he didn't engineer or invent anything for Tesla either. This is another one of the situations where the founder and the engineers for these things ended up selling it to Elon,
right?
And then he, as part of the contract, gets to call himself founder.
Yeah.
And they don't. So yeah, they talk about how he's only out for publicity, and I mean that's wrong on both sides, but also he's not the marketing genius that this man thinks that he is. It's really kind of bizarre. Scroll on down. Trying to manipulate the media. Yes. Terrible at that. Yeah, he's talking about how he's terrible at manipulating the media. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, but it doesn't mean that he's not trying to. And he just had to make money. Of course, he is. Self-driving cars will kill people. This whole thing is just I don't even know where to start with most of this. It's just he's just listing off ways to own Elon Musk to call him cool. It's
I
really
like the response. But self-driving cars will kill people.
Grow up. It's what the fuck do you mean grow up? They're going to kill people.
Well, the problem is that, and these are all incredible straw man arguments.
Yeah.
Because it's let me take what would be a rational criticism of Elon Musk and turn it into the most basic, easily refutable sort of thing.
Yeah.
Self-driving cars will kill people. No, that's not the problem. The problem is that self-driving cars
will take jobs and kill people.
Well, they'll take jobs, sure, but they're not proven. Anytime somebody tries to roll out these self-driving cars, they don't measure up to, and it's just like the Tesla Android or whatever the fuck robot thing, right? Like, hey, we're making the Tesla robot. It's gonna be awesome. And for their like opening presentation, they just have somebody, an actual person in a suit, because the Tesla robot doesn't actually fucking exist and it doesn't actually work. It's literally just a marketing ploy to get a bunch of fucking nerds wet and like you've got like Boston Dynamics, right? Like they've been working on the fucking AI robot game for 20 some odd years pretty intensely. And that's just a guesstimate. I think it's probably more like a full decade. Whatever. And they still don't have a robot that's like really that autonomous. And so you think Elon Musk Tesla is going to come out of fucking nowhere and revolutionize the automated or the artificial intelligence fucking robot, and it's going to look super fucking cool? No, of course not. All they can do is steal technology or implement technology from other sources. They've made nothing new. SpaceX is nothing new. It's all NASA developed research that they're just building because they have money.
Yeah, and I remember a lot of articles acting like Elon Musk did it first, but like the first like private space company. But
no, that was Virgin.
Yeah, or was it was Virgin that had it, right?
Yeah, it was Virgin.
Yeah.
So scroll on down, Sarah.
To continue to suck. Elon.
Continue the nightmare. But I hear he treats his employees badly. First, we already discussed this. He can be a dick, so don't be surprised when he is. Second, people know they're going to be working with Elon Musk, so they can't play woe is me if he goes Elon on them. What the fuck does it like? I mean,
could you imagine if
you
took
like a job in a coal mine, bro? It's fine that it caved in on you. All right, you should have known a cave mine's gonna do the cave mine thing.
See, here's the problem with him saying something like he's gonna go Elon on you. Could you imagine? Let's remove Elon's like probable like personal guard that he keeps around him at all times. And Elon Musk comes up to you and he says one of his dumb things like, "Oh, you're a fucking pedophile." And like, what would Elon do? Like, he's not intimidating. He doesn't intimidate anyone like physically or anything like that. He's not like impressively like intellectually dickish. He just says dumb shit all the time. So him going Elon on someone is literally him just being like, I own your job and your life, and therefore if I say something mean to you, you have to accept it. But if you remove all those power structures, him going Elon is nothing more impressive than like, I don't know, me going Deebs on somebody. It means nothing. And I would estimate that in any fucking fight between two men, Elon is gonna be the loser 90% of the time because he's a rich boy that never had any fucking strife in his entire fucking life.
I imagine Elon Musk does croquet for exercise.
Yes.
He looks like a croquet guy. Like that's a croquet body that he's got.
This is like that girl in high school that's always like, "Oh, you don't want to mess with my friend. She will go fucking crazy on you." That is exactly what this is, but it's with Elon instead.
But the way he ends that paragraph is really amazing, though, because and here's something funny. He actually said to someone who was pissing him off at the Tesla factory, I could be drinking Mai Tais with naked supermodels, but instead I'm here with you. He has a point.
Man, this person just
this person writes books. He has many books, and he's a well-known artist. It's Douglas Copeland. We'll look at some of his stuff in a second. But he hurt my feelings and made me feel like I was in an unsafe and triggering work environment. His response to that is, "Dear God, is that what society has been reduced to?" Which just sucks so bad.
This is him literally having he's literally having an imaginary conversation with somebody and choosing like the weakest possible points that could be brought up out of this. Again, imagine he might as well be in the fucking shower now. Like,
Right.
yeah, I totally got that imaginary.
No,
person
that's
talking
exactly
to.
what he's doing. But yeah, so scroll down for this last one. This is it, I think. Oh yeah, there's more, but it doesn't really matter. But this is my favorite one. Here are a few readily available facts about Musk. He's a good father with 6 sons, triplets, twins, and 1 solo. A first son died of SIDS at the age of 10 weeks. Sorry, this is very low res. He's been married to 2 women, this second wife twice. He's been married to 2 women, this second wife twice.
I guess he got married to Grimes twice.
I guess.
Oh no, he didn't marry Grimes. They're just dating or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares? What is that? What does that matter? Like that doesn't matter.
Well, let me finish my really important list.
Yeah.
My listicle, and all of these start with an ellipses as well. Which I'm gonna like diagnose this guy after this. So I mean that's
Please
important. He's famous for his need to be in love and for being unable to sleep alone. He spent his 47th birthday in his factory fixing robots for 24 hours. He loves his mother, who is a top global fashion model at 73. He sees no future in fossil fuels. He hates visible seams on his products. He swears a lot. In 2018, his tunnel drilling company, The Boring Company, sold 20,000 novelty flamethrowers as a publicity stunt. Now they sell on eBay at an average of $3,000. Why the fuck is that section in there?
It sounds like he needs a fucking therapist, whatever's going on with Elon Musk.
I mean, other than what's interesting about it is
he like a fairy or something? He hates schemes. He's got a drill mining company that produces flamethrowers.
The first point he brings up, he's a good father with 6 sons. And he could have just left it there, and that would be literally the only like, oh, Elon Musk isn't a bad guy sort of factoid. The rest of these have no like moral or ethical. I mean, the Boring Company thing is weird that he sold a bunch of flamethrowers, but like as far as like morals or ethics or like proving that Elon Musk is a good dude or like a useful dude, the good father one is like the only one. And then he's like, oh, also one of his kids died from SIDS. Like,
right.
What the fuck does that matter?
I mean, he's just trying to humanize him in this really weak way, and he's doing it with a listicle in the middle of an already like really weak piece. It's really confusing.
Bizarre.
And if you go down a little bit more, he's not political. He is.
Nobody with that much money is apolitical.
Yeah, and he's but he's trying to save the world, and trying to save the world is kind of corny. No one has ever said that. That's not a thing. Narcissistic, maybe, probably. I mean, he is, but
I mean, it's just great
weird
man theory, right? Like,
right. What's the deal with him wanting to go to Mars? That's not a criticism either. If you want to scroll down, he gave his kid a weird name. But what's with him saying AI is going to take over humanity and destroy? I think everything from here is like pointless to go over, honestly, because it's just like him doing, like we've said,
just straw men.
It's just straw men.
Yeah.
But they're just bizarre straw men, and a lot of them are like some of these are straw men that I could imagine maybe someone saying, but some of them are just like, he's trying to save the world. Isn't that dumb? And he's like, no, actually saving the world is really cool because the world should be saved. It's like, what the?
If he actually was doing that, that would be great. He's not.
Yeah.
Right. We can't rely on Elon Musk and his stupid fucking Mars experiment that has no basis in like reality whatsoever. Like we're just gonna terraform Mars over what the next how many years? How many years is that gonna take? We have no idea. We've never.
And then they're all gonna die out there.
And they're all gonna die out there. Whatever.
But if we just want to go to the next tab, I'm not even going to go over the rest of this article. It just keeps going, and it's just
sad.
He also wrote this: Don't be smoopid, a glossary for the extreme present. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about this guy. So again, I haven't read any of his books, but I've seen a lot of his art. And a lot of his art is like, language based. And what he is he's a very young boomer who didn't identify with the boomers and identified more with Generation X people. And with this obsession with Generation X people, he developed that really creepy, and again, intergenerational warfare is stupid. It's not real. It's fucking witchcraft. It doesn't make sense. But
it's very real to some people.
Right. But the thing that you can generally say about Generation X is that they're just millennials, but they're obsessed with like this faux authenticity, right? And so this guy develops this weird generational trauma and decides to base his entire personality around it, where he's just saying, okay, so I'm a boomer and I'm going to have all the bad parts of being a boomer, but I'm going to have like an extra ironized version that can't quite be ironic because I'm a boomer and I'm incapable of irony, that some version of the authenticity that Generation X people have, or like an obsession with it. And so everything that he does is like this like so quote unquote clever that it becomes like vapid and meaningless, and just like trying to like be cute and like authentic and silly and fun with everything he does, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but we'll see really why it is. So first off is this invention of the word smoopid.
What I'm gathering from him, what I'm gathering from him is he's doing the thing where instead of being like actually clever, he's trying to appear clever.
Yeah, exactly.
And that always just falls so flat because it reads exactly as I'm saying. Like, you're just trying to be clever, but you're not hitting the mark. You're not actually
exactly
clever.
Like that's that's a bit of advice that was given to me and that I give to writers all the time, which is that if your writing reads as being too clever, people will begin to think you have nothing to say. Because when you're focused purely on being clever and you spend all your energy on that, like obviously it's not going somewhere else. So if you want to scroll down, there's some of the words that he invented. De-selfing, willingly diluting one's sense of self and ego by plastering the internet with as much information as possible. This is my favorite one. This is so fucking good. This is the perfect word for him. Monophobia, fear of feeling like an individual. He needs that tattooed across his head, dude. It's like the perfect way of describing this guy's entire brand. Fear of feeling like man. I wish I could be myself, but I'm scared of being an individual. Incredible.
I like, I only read halfway through it, but a session process whereby the West cedes its claim to having the sole means of attaining enlightenment in all realms. Implicit in a session is the assumption that the traditional Western mode of creating ideas based in secularist theory has possibly run its course or is hitting an unclimbable wall. This wall may, in the end, be surmountable. So
no, it's not. It's not, guys.
Basically, he's saying you guys are giving up on Western culture, but he's trying to do it in a clever way. And again, he sucks at it.
But I would suggest that people look through this list. It's awful. It's very bad.
No, I like the next two. Smoopid, which is smart and stupid, and then Stewart, which is stupid and smart.
Yeah, that sucks.
Fuck off, dude.
He has one that is not even a made up word, because that's how German works. He makes this German word Zwischendingen, which literally just means between things, which is what he describes. He could just have written it as between things, but he wants to be cute. So to be never mind. But yeah, let's move to the next tab.
Right.
I don't even care what Zwischendingen means anymore.
Apparently his art.
Yes. So he made these slogans for the 21st century. If you scroll down so we can see some of these, they're just the words on a piece of colored paper. I miss my pre-internet brain.
So it is art for boomers?
Yes, essentially, but art for boomers that are pretending to be Generation X who are commenting on Generation X through boomers. So you scroll down. There's a few of these, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Art is up for grabs again. You and your selfie are merging. I can feel the money leaving my body. They're incredible. They're perfect.
These are like really bad, low effort memes.
Yes. They're worse than memes.
Yeah,
memes
they're
are
not,
so
like,
easy to make.
Yeah,
these are worse.
I was gonna say, if this is considered art, then like I don't know what my meme page is, but it's levels better than this, so it must be. Yeah, it's transcendental experiences.
But here is the punchline to all of this. If you go to the next tab.
Oh, next tab.
No, next tab that I sent you. Did I? Oh, well, I guess not. But it's okay because they're pretty much the same. What he did with work from not work, but he partnered with Google.
Oh.
And they made what is it? Slogans for the class of 2030. And what it is that I'm guessing like a generative adversarial network or some kind of like AI looked through all of his slogans and a bunch of people's Twitter posts and made more of these. And they are also dreadful, and there's no reason that it should have been done for the class of 2030. And they're just amazing. Yeah, how much do they how pointless they are. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're gonna.
Like he sucks too.
Exactly. Yeah, his interviews are bad too. We are at the beginning of ourselves.
So I mean, what's interesting about this this partnership.
The only way to be real is to be alive. Sorry, go on, Mike.
What's interesting about this partnership is he's like fully admitting that a fucking computer can do what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like he's not making anything new or interesting or anything that's like outside the realm of like what can just be predicted through like fucking Google auto predict.
Right. And the thing that's really awful about him in this is that like he is self-aware, right? And these are things that he's making because they're lazy or because he's like actually very cynical, but he refuses to admit his own cynicism, kind of.
Of course. No.
Where like in his writing is always that like that ironic distance that's so ironic as to like forget it's being ironic kind of thing. But he's also, I don't know, like he's the kind of guy that's gonna like do this whole thing about phones bad and then genuinely like he'll do that from an ironic space and then be genuinely like, oh god, phones bad, and then he's going to use that to make money off of phones being bad and then off of phones also. It's just he's a mess.
No, but I would almost bet, and I've never watched an interview with him, so maybe you have,
yeah,
but I would almost bet that he would consider that his artistic like credential, right? That he's able to work in that space where I'm criticizing the rhetoric or the talking points from the talking points,
kind of
inside of the talking points sort of shit.
Yeah, it's really the QR code stuff, awful.
That fucking shirt.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean he's both as ironic and cynical as you're saying, and somehow less so, because you always still get the sense that he still believes everything that he's doing.
Of course.
In this, but then also that he has that weird Generation X, but it doesn't really matter, man, kind of like distance from his own work. And it's all very bad.
Well, great.
But that's all I got about this guy.
Yeah,
he sucks.
I got one more link for us.
All right, the Amazon one.
Yeah.
Also, Thought Slime did a video on not on him, but on that article as well.
Okay.
If you should check it out. It's very different from what we kind of went over. But he just shits on Elon Musk for a while, which is Good.
Always a good time. So this is from Bloomberg's opinion, or it might have. I think I've seen this in a couple of publications. But the headline reads: Amazon's
Incredible.
new factory towns will lift the working class.
Incredible.
Plentiful new jobs at higher wages and places with cheaper housing sounds like a solution to inequality.
That's
because
so
the solution to
incredible.
inequality, the solution to inequality, and we're just gonna take this like right at the fucking like subheader there. The solution to inequality is forcing people to live in a place where they're like completely adjacent to work and their entire life is probably ruled over their workplace, because not only are they working for this company, but they're living in this company's building, their barracks, whatever you want to fucking call it.
The station, the gas stations and grocery stores are all owned by the
They're
company.
all owned by all of your money is reciprocal through this entire. It's just like, you know, I am earnestly working on a video, and the first video I decided I'm going to work on, I gave up on the George Orwell stuff because it's not as interesting as I wanted.
It sounds Orwellian.
But the first one I am working on is about how big box stores like Walmart or whatever, whenever they enter a community, what they do is they kill all the local businesses, give people a bunch of shitty wage slave jobs, like actual wage slavery. I know it's like a tired trope, but it's actual wage slavery. And then what they do is they offer mild discounts to in-store purchases to these employees. Yeah. So they're actually paying these people even less because they're getting that return to them, because these people are buying necessary items like groceries. This is just a more extremized version of it, where I'm sorry, this is not a solution to inequality, obviously, duh, because the problem with inequality is Jeff Bezos can buy 20 fucking goddamn huge yachts, and I can't. His workers can't. They have to live in the Amazon fucking box that they give them now is the proposed solution, and they have to buy everything from the Amazon store and the Amazon gas station and the Amazon car or whatever. Like, no, that's not. Fucking brainworms, man.
Right. And on top of this, I mean, the most simple way to kind of deflate this whole thing is simply, we fucking tried this before.
Yeah, no, company
with
tank.
Company tank. Yeah, it's
and all they did is change one fucking word.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Factory Town sounds worse than Company Town.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, the town is the factory, like, as opposed to like, oh yeah, we're all in a company here.
Well, at least like Amazon police will have an opportunity to like check up on you if you're sick.
I swear to God, if I see one Amazon police officer, I will fucking kill them without a second's hesitation. Swear to God. Swear to fucking. Can we scroll down a little bit? I want to see some of this. I didn't actually read this. I just looked at the headline. The campaign against against economic inequality has put a bullseye on cities. Local governments are encouraged to raise minimum wages, change their zoning laws, and build more housing, particularly in affluent communities that are squeezing out the lower class. But what if you shifted that focus to a different kind of community? Consider these burgeoning new places to be new places strung along the interstate and other highways leading away from urban cores populated by warehouses and fulfillment centers that are being built to serve the needs of e-commerce customers. Let's call them factory towns. That sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah.
That just sounds bad.
Yeah. Gross.
These are places where working class jobs are being created in large numbers and where wages are already rising.
Working poor class jobs are being created.
Yeah, they're not much in the spotlight yet, but making these modern day company towns more livable.
They don't start out as livable. You got 90 days until you're working or factory town accommodations become livable.
So let's run through a couple of scenarios here. Let's say you take a 3-second extended piss break at your Amazon warehouse job, And now that directly correlates into whether or not you're being kicked out of your fucking housing because your housing is provided by your employer. And I mean, it's already bad enough where, like, yeah, your housing is provided by your employer because you live paycheck to paycheck right now. But it's even worse because you don't even have that, like how would the eviction process work? Like, I would assume that they're going to have ridiculous, like, probably not even lease signings. They'll just be like, "Oh, well, here's your room, and if you
part of your hiring contract."
Yeah. And so it's like, "Oh, well, you took the 3-second extended piss break, and we've got to fire you because literally, like,
not even fire, just dock you like
I think
some ludicrous amount.
I think you're being too hard on Amazon. They'd probably just charge
eat your kid
like a bathroom break.
Yeah.
Or their toilets at home, they only get a certain amount of flushes, and they get charged one when they take too long during their
there you go.
That's more reasonable.
Couldn't help but notice that you've been going through your Amazon toilet paper ration pretty quickly. You seem to be taking a lot of shit breaks on your off time.
No, your fucking scheduled drone drop off of toilet paper fucking is rescinded.
The Amazon meat paste it helps with that.
Jesus, man.
Hell yeah.
Get you down to 3 cheeks.
Can we scroll up and see who the author of this article is?
It's Connor Sen, and he writes a bunch of other stupid bullshit. He wrote one about like just this kind of nasty piece about whether or not like men should stay with their kids or go back to the office. He writes a lot about like, Amazon, Walmart, labor and market wars. I haven't read this one, but yeah, he writes what you think he writes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a I don't know, like, did the CIA put a brain chip inside him, or is he earnestly like this? Like, how do you end up like that? How do you end up like
I don't know, but
Douglas Copeland, and how do you
I want
end
them
up
to
like
kiss.
Connor Sen?
I want them to kiss.
What we ought to do in a just world, what we would do is we would put both of these men in a ring with a sharp stick between the two. Oh, Jesus Christ, he looks like
and make them kiss.
Yeah, with a sharp stick, we would make them kiss, and then also fight to the death. And the winner actually just gets shot in the head immediately afterwards.
There you go. Okay.
Because we want neither of them, but we do want them to suffer and struggle.
Yeah, these are the kind of solutions that I think that society needs.
Well, cool. On that note.
All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you listen this far, we love you. Please take your medicine.
Take mine too.
And be sure to save some for your friends.
Hi, Michael Deebs here, with no gun pointed at my head. Please know that all content created for the Benzo Rehab Dungeon is and always will be freely available. However, if you would like to support this creation of content, we here at Camp Benzo would appreciate it, as the production itself is not free of cost. Anything donated will go to covering the various subscription fees maintained for content production or improving and expanding the content produced. If you are able to, please head on over to patreon.com/BenzoRehabDungeon. We also have shirts for sale on Teespring, all priced as low as we can get them without turning much or any profit. They are mostly so that you can show your loved ones that a necessary intervention may be on the horizon. Links to the merchandise storefront and our various social media profiles can be found on our link tree, which is the word link tr.ee/BenzoRehabDungeon. As always, we love you. Please take your medicine.